Hey everyone, this is Film Conscience, where the voices in my head do the talking. Over here we have the more technical, critical side of me, and over here we have the more emotional, intuitive side of me. And today we'll be looking at Brothers, a film about a Marine who is presumed dead, so it's up to his brother to take care of his wife and children. That is until they get the call that he's actually alive, and he comes back home, and then conflict ensues. So I'm going to let you guys take it away. What did you think? Well, I'm going to get straight to the point. I feel as though a mugger just came up to me, verbally assaulted me, maybe roughed me up a bit, and then at the last minute said, you know what? Never mind, I'm not going to take your money. Then he spits in my face and runs away. And all I can think of to say was, what the hell was that for? It's just cruel. The film just feels cruel. I would say that cruel is the accurate word, but not necessarily for the reasons you specify. The film just seems incredibly misguided. They took a somewhat interesting premise, I guess. It's hard to say what it is exactly. The point is, they make no effort to actually explore any of the issues presented in the film. I agree. It seems that the film reeks of underdevelopment. Yes. And yet somehow they manage to make you feel like you've been force-fed a pound of processed depression. You have to wonder how they can get away with something like that. Oh, I can tell you how, but first I need to give the film its first compliment, and that is the fact that it was saved by its strong cast. That's true. And let me tell you, it must have been hard for them, because, especially in the second half, but all throughout, their characters were forced to do things that come out of nowhere. It's like the director's a 6-year-old girl taking her Barbie and Ken dolls, undressing them, and then rubbing them together just for the sake of entertainment, when in fact, neither of them have reproductive organs. And they're both gay. Yeah, what's with that? Like, all the decisions that the characters make, whether it's something they say or something they do, they're just all completely unmotivated, and some of them don't even make sense. The resolution to the big climactic scene, just that whole part, it feels so contrived and lazy, and it's stuffed with cliches. It feels like a slap in the face. Yeah, a cock slap, maybe. In fact, let's use the cock slap as a visual analogy for every shameless cliche they use in this film. Every time you receive a cock slap, it doesn't just hurt, but you're degraded. And you beg them to stop whacking cocks in your face, but they're depraved, and they will not stop. And then when you leave the movie theater, you are left with nothing but shame, disappointment, and several mushroom-shaped marks on your cheeks and forehead. You know what, you're right. But why? They could have gone so much further into this premise, making something interesting and thought-provoking, but they were missing one crucial ingredient. A plot! A plot would sure be nice. That was the main problem. What was up with these filmmakers? They just said, uh-oh, we don't have any conflict or action. What do we do? I know, let's just make people scream things at each other with dialogue straight out of a soap opera without any reason for them doing so. That's drama, right? Right? And on that topic, let's talk about the little girls who play the daughters. Oh my god, don't even get me started. Oh my, cringeworthy. God. They are the definition of cringeworthy. I suppose in the first half they're supposed to be the comic relief. If you consider Family Circus comic relief. But, for the rest of us sane people with normal senses of humor, it just comes across as, a pathetic attempt to make kids talk like adults, saying things they would never say just to be cute. Yeah, then in the second half, she becomes all Little Miss overdramatic, and that's when it really gets soap opera for me. She might as well be saying, your brother's having sex with mom, and now they both have syphilis, and amnesia, and I'm possessed by the ghost of Hitler. It's like, come on! I hated them too. It was a serious problem. All the characters' motivations were skewed. I think my biggest problem with the movie, aside from all the other horrible things I've been saying about it, is that it just seems like a very long, stretched out, introduction to an even bigger question.
Yep, absolutely.
And you know what? Tobey Maguire even asked that question at the very end of the movie. He has the last line, and he asked the question, will I get my life back? That sounds like a fucking plot to me. I mean, what the hell went wrong here? That's clearly what the movie should have been about. My God.
I know, and granted, they could have been short on plot if they were just going for a character study, which this very well could have been. Unfortunately, they didn't have the drive or the resources to pull it off, so it just comes across as thrown together at the last minute.
Dear God, is nothing sacred? Can nothing save this horrid piece of death chocolate? I feel like I'm going crazy here. Like, I don't know what...
Oh, okay, I think I've got enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So, here's my conclusion. For a film called Brothers, it doesn't really have anything to do with their relationship. In fact, it doesn't really have to do with anything at all. It feels very underdeveloped, and it's plagued with choices that feel both forced and nonsensical. It's not very focused, but it's the performances that make the film feel at least a little bit human, and seems to be the only redeeming qualities of the film. Otherwise, it's a piece of work that had the potential to be more, but in the end, it's just completely cliched and totally forgettable. This has been Film Conscience, where the voices in my head do the talking.